The day started like any other, or so I thought. I kissed Adrian goodbye as he left for work, the same way I had every morning for the past 10 years. But lately, something had been gnawing at me, a tiny splinter of doubt that had lodged itself deep in my heart. His late nights at the office, the vague answers, the way he'd angle his phone away from me. It was all adding up to a picture I didn't want to see. My best friend, Chloe, had been telling me for weeks that I was just being paranoid, that Adrian adored me. But a woman's intuition is a powerful thing, and mine was screaming. That morning, instead of heading to my own job at the local library, I made a decision that would change everything. I got in my car, my hands trembling on the steering wheel, and I followed him. It felt so wrong, so clandestine, like something out of a cheap thriller. Part of me was hoping, praying, that he'd go straight to his downtown office and I could go home, call myself a fool, and put these ugly suspicions to rest. But he didn't. He took a turn I didn't recognize, heading towards a part of town we never went to, a neighborhood of quaint little cafes and boutique shops. My heart hammered against my ribs. He parked in front of a small, charming coffee shop called The Daily Grind. I parked a few cars down, pulling my sun visor down to hide my face, feeling utterly ridiculous. And then I saw her. A woman with long blonde hair stepped out of the cafe, a bright, easy smile on her face. Adrian got out of his car, and his entire demeanor changed. The tired, stressed man who left our home this morning was gone. In his place was a man I hadn't seen in years, laughing, carefree, his eyes sparkling. He wrapped his arms around her, and they shared a kiss. Not a quick peck, but a long, lingering kiss that stole the air from my lungs. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. It was like watching a movie of someone else's life, a horrible, gut-wrenching tragedy. The woman was Noelle, one of his colleagues. He'd mentioned her a few times, just a new hire in the marketing department. He'd made her sound so plain, so unremarkable. But the woman he was holding was anything but. They went inside the coffee shop, hand in hand, and I just sat there, frozen in my car, the world spinning around me. Every I love you, every shared dream, every promise we ever made flashed before my eyes, all of it feeling like a lie. After what felt like an eternity, but was probably only 20 minutes, they came out. They kissed again before getting into their separate cars. I thought he'd go to work then, but he didn't. He drove to a nearby park, and so did she. I watched from a distance as they sat on a bench, his arm draped around her shoulders, her head resting against his. They looked so comfortable, so right. It was a scene of domestic bliss, a scene that should have been mine. I saw him hand her a small, beautifully wrapped gift box. Her face lit up as she opened it, revealing a delicate silver necklace. A necklace I'd pointed out in a jewelry store window just last month, telling him how much I loved it. That was the moment the numbness turned to white-hot rage. It wasn't just a fling. It was a parallel life. He wasn't just cheating on me. He was replacing me. He was giving her the gestures, the gifts, the very pieces of our life that I cherished. I started my car, the engine roaring to life, and I drove. I didn't know where I was going. I just needed to get away from that park, from that image burned into my mind. Tears streamed down my face, hot and angry. How could he do this? After everything we'd been through? We'd built a life together from nothing. We supported each other through promotions and losses, sickness and health. Was all of that meaningless to him? I ended up at Chloe's doorstep, a complete wreck. The moment she opened the door and saw my face, she knew. She pulled me into a hug as I sobbed, finally letting out all the pain I'd been holding in. I told her everything I saw, the kiss, the park, the necklace. She just listened, holding my hand, her own eyes filling with tears for me. There was no "I told you so," no judgment, just pure, unwavering support. She made me tea and just sat with me in the silence while I tried to piece my shattered world back together. She was right. I wasn't paranoid, I was betrayed. That evening, when Adrian came home, I was waiting for him. I had packed a small bag. He walked in smiling, asking what was for dinner, as if it were just another Tuesday. "How was your day, honey?" he asked, leaning in to kiss me. I turned my head away. The smell of her perfume, faint but undeniable, clung to his shirt. His smile faltered. "Noelle, is it?" I asked, my voice surprisingly steady, the color drained from his face. In that instant, he knew that I knew. The lies crumbled, the charade was over. There was no shouting, no screaming. Just a vast cold emptiness between us. He tried to explain, of course. The usual excuses. It just happened. It didn't mean anything. I was going to end it. But the words were hollow. I had seen the truth with my own eyes. I had seen the way he looked at her. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a choice he had made every single day for who knows how long. He chose to lie to me, to deceive me, to build a secret world behind my back. He chose her over us. I didn't want to hear any more. I picked up my bag. "I saw the necklace, Adrian," I said quietly. That's all it took. He had nothing left to say. I walked out that door and didn't look back. The pain was immense, a physical ache in my chest. But with it, there was also a strange sense of clarity, of liberation. For weeks, I had been living in a fog of doubt and anxiety, questioning my own sanity. Now the fog had lifted. The truth, as devastating as it was, had set me free. The road ahead would be hard, I knew that. There would be lawyers and paperwork and the difficult task of dividing a life. But as I drove to Chloe's house, my temporary sanctuary, I knew I had made the right choice. I chose myself. I chose honesty. I chose a future where I would never again have to wonder if the person sleeping next to me was living a lie. The day I followed my husband was the worst day of my life, but it was also the first day of my new one. And for that I am strangely, profoundly grateful.